Over the last several years of fly fishing Sam Houston National Forest, there is one simple fly pattern that consistently produces fish for me. I like to call it the sandjack squirrel, but really it's just a variation of a woolly bugger with a soft hackle collar. I call it the sandjack squirrel because the materials that are used in the fly all come from the squirrels that I harvest during the Texas small game season. For this particular variation, I'm using a size 10 Nymph hook by Umpqua. I have an 1/8 inch blue wing olive tungsten bead in gold for the head. Take 5 to 10 wraps of .02 lead wire. Next, tie in your thread. In this case, I'm using a red 70 Denier thread, but I also use hot pink or anything that will give the fly a little bit of a hot spot. Wrap the thread up the hook shank and secure the lead wire. Next, I'll take a pinch of squirrel tail. It's usually a 1/4 or a 1/3 the diameter of a pencil, and I'll tie that in. You can use fox squirrel tail or gray squirrel. In this case, I'm using gray squirrel. Next, I'll take 2 strands of Krystal Flash olive pearl and tie those in on either side of the tail. Next, you'll tie in the wire that will be used for the rib. In this case, I'm using a small ultra wire in red. Advance your thread forward to about midway up the shank of the hook and form a dubbing loop. Now bring your thread back to the eye of the hook. Now we're going to combine our natural squirrel dubbing with Orvis's ice dubbing. In this case, it's UV black. Take a small pinch of each of the dubbings and work them together by pulling them apart and putting them back together and pulling them apart again. Work the dubbing into a thin column and slide it into your dubbing loop. Now spin the dubbing loop. I like to try and pluck out any of the loose fibers and slide them back into the bottom of the dubbing loop and then spin it again. Now use the rotary feature on your vise and start working the dubbing up the hook shank towards the eye. Secure the dubbing loop with a couple wraps of thread. Trim off any excess. Now, counter wrap with your wire up the hook shank towards the bead. Try and keep your wraps equally spaced. Secure the wire with a couple thread wraps and snip off the excess. Next, we're going to add the collar. I'm using a Coot feather in this case, but any soft hackle feather will work just fine. Use your fingers and strip off the down feathers at the base. Now tie the soft hackle in so that when you are making your wraps for the collar, the feathers are pointing towards the hook point. Trim off the excess feather. Use your hackle pliers and carefully make a couple of wraps to form the collar. Wet your fingers and gently stroke the fibers of the feather back towards the hook point. Secure the tag end of the feather with a couple of wraps. Once you trim off the excess, make a couple more wraps to secure the feather. Go ahead and whip finish and apply head cement as needed. And there you have it, a simple but effective fly, the sandjack squirrel. Like the woolly bugger, there's many ways to fish this fly. You can dead drift it, or in this case, you can strip it through the water. This small spotted bass was hiding under a submerged log, but he couldn't resist attacking the sandjack squirrel when it came swimming by. In the next couple of weeks, I hope to have my book, Fly Fishing the Sam, available for order through my website. Head over to flyfishingthesam.com and sign up for the newsletter. By signing up, you can stay up to date on when the book will be released. For even more content related to hunting, fishing, and trapping, check out rootsgameandtrail.com. I'll place links to these websites in the video description below. Thanks for checking out the video. Stay safe and healthy out there.